Our master speaker is Ben Hadel. Ben is from Overland Park, Kansas, of course. He graduated with a master's in accounting, is graduating with a master's in accounting with a focus on tax. Ben also received a Bachelor of Science in Accounting from KU in 2010. And while at KU, Ben has been an undergraduate honors roll student, received the Kessler Memorial Deloitte Scholarship, and has served as the head TA, teaching assistant, for our beginning accounting course, which is a very large and difficult course, as some of you remember. Ben participated in 3 internships while at KU, including one at Ernst & Young in Denver. He began working with his family at Hadel Family Solutions after graduation. He also plans to sit for the CPA and will begin studying for the CFP and eventually the CFA. It's my pleasure to introduce our master's student speaker, Ben Hadel.
When I received the email asking me to speak, I was of course very nervous and I didn't know how to start it. So I Googled tips on how to give a graduation speech. And every tip said start with a joke. So if I could have a little audience participation, I'd really appreciate it. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Hatch.
That's you.
God bless you guys. I know it's cold and flu season, but everybody's sneezing around here.
Yeah!
I admit that was really corny. They told me to cut that, but I'd first like to say it's an incredible honor to have the opportunity to speak to all of you today. It's so cool to see everybody dressed up. When I got here, I wasn't sure if I was graduating from KU or Hogwarts. All these robes and colors, it's really great. I love the KU school business, and there isn't anywhere else I'd rather be. This room is filled with extraordinary people. To all the family and friends of graduates, you should be very proud of your loved ones' accomplishments. Having said that, graduates, you should all be thanking your family and friends. Although we have achieved something great, there's no doubt we have had help along the way. There's always been a saying that I particularly liked, and that's if you see a turtle on a fence post, you can be rest assured he didn't get there by himself. So having said that, I would like to thank my parents. My dad is the hardest working person I know and has always led by example. And my mom has always given me an incredible amount of strength. I would also like to thank my 2 best friends, and those are my brothers. We have a special bond that I don't believe exists between other siblings. And out there in the audience, I would also like to thank my girlfriend. Just kidding, I'm single.
Yeah!
I had to throw a plug in there for myself. I'll throw another one in later. You've made it! Not only did you graduate from KU, but you graduated from the KU School of Business. Having a business degree says a lot more about the type of person you are than what you've learned while here. It says you're a person who's willing to work hard and that doesn't give up. Your successful completion of each course kept driving you forward to complete the next. I'm sure there were countless nights when each of us had stayed and studied while our friends with other degrees went out and partied. That's not to say we didn't have a lot of fun though. You know how good it feels to go out after having taken 4 tests in 1 week. Yes, you've made it. To all those MBAs and others who came back to school after starting a career, we all come from different walks of life, and I cannot even begin to imagine the incredible amount of courage it takes to make the decision to come back to school. School is difficult in its own right, but to join the workforce and decide that you're ultimately unsatisfied with where you are, and decide that coming back to school is the right decision, that is admirable. It is not easy to finish an entire day of work and sacrifice time with friends and family to go to class. I've had the privilege of taking several courses with MBAs. Out of these, the level of professionalism and the desire to learn in these people is incredible. I also want to point out these are people who already have really great jobs. Working with the MBAs has allowed me to work with a diverse amount of people, from a software engineer to gardener to a bank's branch manager. Also to my fellow master's students, how about advanced tax? I mean, seriously, how about it? I'm talking more to the accounting students, but you guys know how many days you sit through that class and think to yourself, God, I can't take another 0. This is going to be the day that does me in. Or the stress you feel when he calls on you, and the only thing you can answer is, I don't know. But to be fair, the rest of the faculty warned us that that was what we needed to do to graduate with our masters. And let's be honest, we all learned a lot. When someone usually talks about making it, they're really saying the job is done. What I'm here to tell you is that your job is not done. It is never done. However, here's what you have done. You've finished an incredibly tough experience. You have delayed gratification and realize that you will not sacrifice your future just to indulge in what you want now. I will tell you why this is extremely important. Unfortunately, I don't know many of you. I don't know your story, but just by being here today, I know that you do not give up and that you are a hard worker. These are two of the most important qualities a person can have. These qualities are important because I don't care who you are, there are hard times ahead of you, and with these qualities you can make it. I know this from experience. I'd like to share a personal story. It's my story. I'm not usually comfortable telling this story, but I believe it holds a powerful message. When I was 6 months old, I was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis. Cystic fibrosis is a disease that affects mainly the lungs and digestive system. In short, when I was diagnosed, the doctor told my parents that I'd be given an early death sentence and I'd be lucky to live until I was 18 years old. Other than the occasional hospital stay as a child and breathing treatments, I had a mostly normal childhood, unaware of my fate. I always knew something was up, but I was too young to realize what. It wasn't until high school when I decided to do an internet search of cystic fibrosis that I came to truly realize what my disease meant. However, by the time I reached high school, they raised the life expectancy to 30. So I'd lived half of my life at that point. In high school, my hospital visits became more frequent, and things were getting worse. I was sick my entire senior year through high school, and it wasn't until the summer that I found out cystic fibrosis had also caused me to develop diabetes. My lung capacity dropped 20% in 1 year. For the first time in my life, people around me were aware of my disease. And like I said earlier, I don't feel comfortable sharing it with people. I couldn't finish my first semester of college because I had to be hospitalized. In the span of 5 months, my lung capacity had dropped an additional 25%. My girlfriend at the time later told me she thought I was dying. She was always real dramatic though. That's probably why I broke up with her. Yeah, ladies, I'm single. My grades sucked and I didn't care about my future. I was defeated. But I was out of the hospital doing a breathing treatment at home one night, trying to salvage what was left of my semester. My dad was nearby, and he told me that I was the bravest man he knew. I don't know what it was about that stuck with me, but it really did something. I always saw brave people as people to be admired, people who pushed forward in the face of fear, and I was backing down, I was giving up. I decided that I wanted to be deserving of the brave title my father had unknowingly given me. I started to run, a lot. Running is the best thing someone with CF can do for themselves. Sometimes I would run so hard I'd cough up blood. But it just kept motivating me to work harder. My health started to turn around. I became hopeful of the future. Over the course of 3 years, I have slowly started to regain most of my lung capacity back. I'm always working and trying harder. As I got my lung capacity back, I thought to myself, why work so hard just to be mediocre? Just to be like everybody else? So at that point, my grades had been horrible, and I decided to work even harder. Why waste so much hard work just being a normal person when if I push a little harder, I could be extraordinary? I started to do better in school and started getting straight A's. I became an accounting 200 TA, which is literally the best job I've ever had in my life. I interviewed with 3 of the big 4 accounting firms last year when I had an IV in my room. Of course I didn't tell them this because I knew it would affect my chances of getting a job. And I got offers from all of them. I still have hard days and hard years. I was just in the hospital a few weeks ago. When I got out, I almost dropped a few of my classes. But then I remembered to be brave, to keep pushing. You can never give up. Never just stop trying. I'm way ahead of where I was a year ago. And I plan on being much further along years from now. I know the future holds bright things, just remember to keep going. My story is not unique. It may be different than yours in the details, but everyone has difficulties they must push through. All of us graduates are the same because we know what it takes to push through a hard experience, even when the outcome didn't look great. Again, I will tell you that we all have hard times ahead of us, and we will all face challenges. But you must always remember this. Don't let that diversity defeat you. Let it bring out the best in you. On a few occasions, people have asked why I try so hard. I will tell you exactly why I work so hard. Because right now, being here in front of this room, graduating, I'm getting a feeling that I'm sure most of you are feeling. A feeling that cannot be recreated by a TV show, or a drink, or a drug, or a person. And that's the feeling that tells you that clearly, happiness is not pleasure. Happiness is victory. You guys are all victorious today, and you always remember how that feels. Because it makes every pain in life you go through worth it. The feeling of victory over our challenges is what makes life worth living. You guys are all victors today, and I guarantee you tonight when you go out and you have a beer, it's going to be the best tasting, most well-deserved beer you've ever had in your life. Because you've defeated this challenge, and now you're well prepared for the next. You guys are all winners, and you all deserve to be called Jayhawks. Ralph Chalk, congratulations.